Okay guys, so today we are going to be learning about volume, something that we've probably touched on briefly before, but I'm not sure how in depth we've gone into it in previous years. So today we're looking at the volume of rectangular objects, so what are called rectangular prisms, so essentially what are boxes. So we're going to look at a couple of examples from the textbook here, and then I'm going to do a couple of questions that I've come up with for us. So a rectangular prism is 10 centimeters long, 5 centimeters wide, and 6 centimeters high. And we want to know what is the volume of that rectangular prism. So it's an object 10 centimeters long by 5 centimeters wide and 6 centimeters high. When we talk about the volume, we're basically talking about how much space is there inside that box. Now, if we were in class, I'd give you guys all these nice little click together squares that we can experiment with, but we can't, so we'll make do with how we can here. So what this basically means, it's 10 centimeters long, so it has 10 centimeter cubes in length. It's 5 centimeters wide, so it's 10 centimeters by 5 centimeters wide. So the bottom of the box is this area here, and actually the bottom of the box is has an area of 5 by 10, so it has an area of 50 centimeters squared. So that bottom is 50 centimeters squared. Now, when we talk about the volume, all we're doing is we're taking the area of that bottom and we're multiplying it by the height of the rectangular prism, of the box that we're talking about. So when we turn it into a volume, you'll see that it's that bottom layer, that 50 centimeters squared, but now it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 high. Okay, so it's 6 layers high. So all you do to find the rectangular prism, you find the area of the bottom, so 5 times 10, and then you multiply it by the height, because there's that many. Basically, think about it like there's 6 of these areas of 50 in the volume, and that's how you find out the volume. How many of these blocks it takes, these 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter blocks, it takes to fill up the whole space. So our way of finding out volume is we do width times length, so that's that 5 times 10, and then multiply that by the height, by 6 centimeters, and that gives us our volume. 5 times 10 is 50, 50 times 6 is 300 centimeters cubes. And what that means, there's 300 of these little centimeter by centimeter by centimeter cubes in this object. That's how much space it occupies. Okay, so just scrolling down here, here is our formula for finding volume. So we can use the description above to develop a formula for the volume of the rectangular prism. So what we do is to find the volume in cubic centimeters, we take the number of 1 centimeter cubes in each layer, so basically the area of one layer, and that's, we do width times length to find that, and we times it by the number of layers. Okay, so for volume, it equals the base area, the area of the base, times the height. But since we know that the base area is length times width, then our volume is just going to be volume equals length times width times height. Okay, so that's our formula that we use to find the volume. Okay, so if we're given a cube like this, okay, it's a cube that's 5 centimeters high by 4 centimeters wide by 11 centimeters long, and we're asked what's the volume of that? Well, here's our formula. Volume equals length times width times height. So it's 11 times 4 times 5. 11 times 4 is 44. 44 times 5 is 220. So the volume of this prism is 220 centimeters cubed. And again, what that means is there is all of these little centimeter by centimeter by centimeter cubes in here, and it takes 220 of them to fill it up. The reason why it's centimeters cubed is because now we're talking about volume. When it was centimeters squared, we were talking about it in 2 dimensions, so it was kind of like a flat surface. That's when we were talking about area, so it was just width times length. It was centimeters squared. Now, though, we're talking about volume. So what we're talking about, our units, are actually 3-dimensional cubes. So that's why we call it centimeters cubed. So whenever we're talking about a volume, we're talking about units cubed, because again, we're talking about a three-dimensional unit, something that fills up a space. Okay, so hopefully that made some sense. I'll do some examples and hopefully it'll make more sense then.